By now you've seen the pictures, excuse me, and heard details. The 3 Aurora police officers fired and...
Yes, one of them, as you know, resigned, all because of 2 photographs at Elijah McClain's memorial. But tonight, Denver 7 investigates, uncovers unforeseen impacts from the latest Aurora Police Department scandal. Hundreds of court cases could be impacted by the loss of credibility of those 4 Aurora officers. Chief investigative reporter Tony Kovaleski breaking this story tonight.
2 pictures, 1 decision, 4 badges disgraced.
We are ashamed, we're sickened, and we're angry.
Decisions made in the moment. Decisions that tarnished an image.
And they smiled right into the camera, right into the face of his mother, into your face, into mine.
Time is up, APD!
All of the officers who are involved should be fired.
News that dominated Denver's discussion.
They need to be charged.
The police chief called taking those photos a crime against humanity.
And spread across the world.
Hundreds of protesters demanding justice for Elijah McClain.
A worldwide community calling for people behind the badges to be held accountable.
Fire them.
And pressure mounted. More than 4 million worldwide signatures demanding change.
Shame on all of you!
And accountability followed.
It's reprehensible, and that's why they no longer work here.
But the impact of those pictures and that decision now goes beyond the Aurora Police Department, beyond the streets of Aurora, and into this list of felony cases uncovered by Denver 7 investigates.
I think the whole world is on notice about these police officers, so I think it will be an issue.
It could create a potential problem for us.
District Attorneys George Brockler and Dave Young are now left to manage the fallout. Powerful images and perceptions that could open doors for defense attorneys.
This evens the playing field and says, hold on.
Harvey Steinberg is one of Colorado's most respected and most successful defense attorneys. He's made a living convincing jurors.
What this has done is it's shed a light and has told people, look, police are not infallible.
He reached for Rosie's gun, yes.
Police don't always tell the truth.
The fallout of the Aurora police scandal will now make its way into Colorado courts. Denver 7 Investigates has found more than 170 pending felony cases where at least one of the 4 officers was involved in the arrests and could now be called as a witness during future criminal trials.
Is it fair and accurate to say this has created a challenge for your office?
Yes, that's absolutely true. There are words that precede the word storm that I would say this has created given the volume of cases that we have, and we're going to end up digging out of this.
Our request to review records produced 134 active felony cases in Brockler's district.
I do think that defense attorneys will aggressively pursue this. They're going to go to court and try to convince the court that this is information that the jury should consider in weighing the evidence against their client. I am less convinced that judges will let them do it.
Included in Brockler's list of 134 now potentially problematic felony cases is this one, where a suspected drunk driver walked away from a fatal crash. Officers Jaron Jones and Kyle Dietrich are both connected to that case. And Officer Dietrich was also involved in the felony arrest of a man accused of shooting a Waffle House cook earlier this year.
I can't tell you right now that even a single case will turn out differently as a result of this.
But yet you're concerned.
Yeah, I am concerned.
My first reaction was, really? What the hell are these people thinking?
A candid comment from DA Dave Young about the moment when he learned of the pictures.
The impact it has depends on the impact those officers had in that investigation.
Records obtained by Denver 7 show 37 cases in the 17th Judicial District involving at least one of the officers. That list includes this publicized case, a 20-year-old stabbed to death in Aurora. Records show officers Erica Marrero and Jaron Jones were connected to those reports.
2 officer-involved shootings.
And records also show this 2018 high-profile double murder and attempted murder of a police officer. Those records included police work performed by Officer Jason Rosenblatt.
Certainly it is a factor that our prosecutors are going to have to take into consideration on what offer to make and certainly what trial strategy to take if those officers are an important piece to our case.
It shows a lack of morals, values, and integrity, and a judgment that I can no longer trust to allow them to wear this badge.
Those words from Aurora's acting police chief culminated the controversy. 2 pictures, 1 decision, and 4 badges disgraced. In some ways, it is yesterday's news, but as we've learned, it now becomes tomorrow's conflict in court.
What does this story need to tell?
It needs to tell just because someone's a police officer doesn't mean they're always truthful, doesn't mean they always did it right. Be careful. Those in power abuse power.
A couple updates for you now. The 3 officers that were terminated for those pictures have appealed the chief's decision. We also reached out to all 4 officers, giving them an opportunity to comment on this report. The representatives did not respond. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski.